Good morning, everyone. Happy Easter. My topic today is an older topic. It's about the design elements created and used to connect the shaft and the blade in Okinawan traditional Bōjutsu. So I came up with this by chance when I made a survey of about 100 boat traditions from Okinawa. I started this in the 2000s already, fueled by a prefectural survey which showed all the different traditions, and it was so exciting to find these that basically every village had their own performing troops. And some of them are performing troops that are more or less for entertainment or for annual festivals, but others, they are combative in their scope and in their tradition. So some of the traditions, they come from warriors. So either they were transmitted from Shuri, Naha, Tomari, and maybe Kume to the regions. They were either transmitted by specifics of the administrative architecture of the Ryukyu Kingdom, where regional officials would go to the landowners in Shuri or elsewhere, and they learn calculating, reading, and also practical skills they needed to know in order to administrate the fief, right? Or they were brought there from former warrior families who moved from the urban centers to the regions in Okinawa and took these traditions with them. Or they were transmitted from the outside, but people who came from elsewhere. Like the most famous of these stories is that of Tsuken Uekata, who studied horse riding and stuff in Satsuma. He was banned to Tsuken Island, basically, and there he is said to have sparked or taught techniques of Bōjutsu. First, of course, I researched all these traditions over many years, and then finally, a few years ago, I published the results of it. It's called Bō Volume 1 because these traditions are often considered by modern martial artists to be village Bōjutsu, or sometimes even festival Bōjutsu. But the thing is, these traditions, particularly the combative ones, they are pretty good. They have a few specifics that are different from modern martial arts settings. Such as, modern martial arts, if you would compare it, modern martial arts, they have a dojo, which in Okinawa is basically, it's a post-war development, right? The modern dojo in Okinawa, things like that didn't exist prior to 1945, with very, very few exceptions. Like Nagamine Shoshin, he had an indoor dojo, but that was about it. And maybe Chibana Choshin, he had an outdoor dojo, but most of the other dojo that were institutional dojo, like police, Butokuden, which opened in 1939 only, and then there were school gyms. And there were judo halls and there were kendo halls, so karate guys used this as well, but it's a modern invention. While the older Bo traditions is more seen in community centers, community places, either inside or outside. It's often trained outside. So that's one of the major differences. And that's in the book, right? All these are like the clothes, the time that it happens, then the weapons they use, and all this kind of stuff. What do they have? Like, do they have kumibo, two-person fights? Do they have sumachi, which is like a row of people moving to the sound? What kind of music is accompanying it? And things like that. And then within, it's called Bō-odori, which odori is today in a modern sense and modern kanji interpretation it means dance, so it would mean stuff dance. For odori, it means to leap and to jump, right? And I think this is more accurate of a description. Bō-odori exists in all of Japan, like it exists in Kyushu and Honshu under various names. And because Bō-odori is a standard name that's used all over Japan, I guess that the Okinawans, they don't like it, they want to be special, and so they refer to it as Murabo. I also included QR codes in this book, so each tradition where applicable, I added the QR code so you can see one or two or more videos that are online for your reference, so you have a visual at the same time. The best thing in learning is, if you hear it, then you see it, then you write it, and then you do it. And if you combine these, you have the maximum learning results, right? So this is what I try to do here. I have a writing, I have some pictures, and I have the video references. Within the Bō-odori in Okinawa, what it says Bō, it is not restricted to Bō as a tool or as equipment. So there are all kinds of tools used in this so-called Bō-odori. It includes the Bō as the main weapon, that's right, but it might have like a nagakama, it might have like sai, it might have a timber and roshin, it has spears, it has a naginata, the curved glaive, and so different kind of weapons. And when I did this study, I came by chance, I noticed like, oh look, there are certain ways how they connect the blade with the shaft. And then I looked further into it and compared it, and I figured out that there are basically three ways within the manufacture of these weapons that are probably traditional. They're very simple, for sure. So I figured out that there are basically three different kinds of connecting the shaft with the blade. And these three kinds of connections, they are the clamp and the rivet, the sleeve and the rivet, and the socket and the rivet. So the first two they are similar in the sense that they make a cutout, a slot within the top of the staff, the pole, and insert the tang of the blade, and then fasten it either by just a clamp and rivets or by a sleeve and rivets additionally. And the other one is a one-parted piece. Let's get into the details. So the clamp and rivet, this is seen in Village Bōjutsu of Yomitan village in northern Okinawa. These are short, spear and naginata, very comparatively short. Then there's a sleeve and the rivet, which is seen in Okinawa Bōjutsu, likewise in northern Okinawa. Then there's a socket and rivet, which is seen in Kokuskubo of Yaesa town, which is in southern Okinawa. So these are all outside the main urban areas, which is interesting in terms of a tradition. So it shows that weapons were used in Okinawa, and not only by warriors, but also in commoners traditions, right? Then here's an example of the clamp and the rivet, and you see the picture. It's like a copper clamp and then a rivet through it, and the blade itself is nothing like a Japanese katana or something. Nothing to do with that. It's just a cutout of, I guess, sleeve metal, and then cut to this form, and then the tang is inserted into the slot at the end of the top of the bow, and then secured by two clamps, each with a rivet. Now you see it, it's a beautiful photo, it's very clear, you can see it. And you can see that it's actually used. So you can see that they actually strike with these things. And this is one thing that's important in this kind of Bō-odori. While they really strike, they they communicate with each other, and then there's the music, you know, the takt of the music, and so they signal that they attack. For instance, they don't want to fool you. It's not a sucker strike or hit, but they signal it by doing like a move like ha ooh, dong, and then on the takt they're gonna strike. So the chance that the defender is mistaken it or is fooled or cannot apply his defense is very low, right? And here it looks like you can see this is a sturdy shaft. It's not like the modern bow the people they use. Like it's getting thinner and thinner and lighter, so they can pose easier, and you know they're doing the moves very easily, which in fact with the real stuff and a real pole arm would be difficult to do, right? So the tools they are manipulated more and more towards making the people the performance look good. And here you can see how sturdy such a thing is, and also there's a weight to it. So then the next is the sleeve and the rivet, and you can see it's the same thing. The blade, the tang of the blade is inserted in the slot that has in the groove that has been cut out of the top of the pole, and then a sleeve is placed over it, and through this sleeve, the bow and the tang, there is one or two rivets placed to secure this. Also, this is important because they actually do contact, they strike each other's weapons strong, and so there's a danger of something flying off. It's not well and sturdy connected. So this is an important part of these traditions because they're bystanders, you know, they're kids and everything, and also the performers themselves. So here's another photo. You can see this. So the left one is a spear, he's thrusting, and the right is more or less it's a short naginata. It's a short blade, right? And then there's a socket and the rivet, and as you can see it here, it's also very simple, but probably made out of one piece, also sheet metal. So you just make a form here of it, and then you roll it around and place it over the tip of the bow, which is tapered down then, of course, which might be a reason why bow are tapered. This is the tapered bow are probably just a modern invention, because for manufacturing, usually they had a 3 centimeter diameter bow. And you know, from dynamics, if you have that much mass at the end of the bow, it's really hard to move them. Even a normal Shirado bow it takes effort to move this thing in the exact way they're supposed to be moved. And so the cut, the tapering is probably only there to take away some of the mass at the ends, so you can move it without being completely exhausted after 2 minutes. And so this is the third solution here, how to do it: a socket and a rivet on a tapered tip of the bow, which is basically Stone Age technology, all of it. Let's not sugarcoat it. But the thing is, again, I stumbled over this, and I never heard this being like topified somehow. So I thought this is really a good, interesting point. So if you want to make your own weapons like this, you want to attach something to this, and you want to use a traditional method of manufacturing these, here you have 3 different options to do this. And here you see it again. So this the right person has a spear. You see it here, also attached to a bow, and the other person has a short glaive, a naginata. And that's basically it. That's the 3 ways traditionally blades were connected to the pole in Okinawan traditional pole arms.